Yeah, Monday. What's up, everybody? Monday morning. Welcome to today's edition of the Daily Market Commentary. I'm your host, Chuck Fulkerson. Hope everybody had a great three-day weekend. In the U.S., we had our markets closed on Friday, and so we had our Independence Day holiday, giving us a little bit of time to relax and spend some time. So hopefully you guys feel relieved and refreshed, let's call it that way. Just remember this week on Wednesday, we will be doing our live daily market commentary. So the DMC is going to come to you live Wednesday morning, 7 a.m. I know last week I had a little bit of lag issue with my system, so I went and upgraded the thing. Hopefully the new computer will arrive on Tuesday, so we don't have any of that lag on Wednesday. So join us live Wednesday, 7 a.m. Central. Okay, let's dive in. So the S&P, we're up 36 points this morning. Now, we did have a breakout line here last night at 31.55, and we did get that breakout in the overnight, but not a lot has happened since that breakout. Now, we do have a supply level up above us right here, this little wick over wick hourly level, which is definitely a confirmation level. And the reason it's a confirmation level is, first of all, we're in a bigger picture trend has shifted. We've also got a little bit of basing here in front of it, so that makes it that much weaker. So I would be a little bit cautious as to this trade. Matter of fact, I think with the basing in front of it, it makes sense to take it away at this point. So just keep that one in mind for today. Do have a little bit of a 15-minute demand area down here, 31.33 by 31.30. If price does come back into that region, not so sure that it will. In the Nasdaq, very similar picture. We did get our breakout of the Nasdaq last night. I'm going to take this breakout line off because we didn't get the basing necessary for that. But if we get a little bit of a pullback, we could see this little area here serve as a reversal point in the Nasdaq. So let's keep an eye on this level for today. In the Russell, we, once again, same picture here, broke down a little bit. It's not been really moving all that well after the breakout. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles later, we'd gone nowhere. If you took the breakout, it kind of just stalled a little bit there. I think that we're still going to, head higher, but our demand levels that exist, down below, we've got this 1434 by 1433, and then on the hourly chart, we have 1420 by 1419, so a couple of small little levels down here in the Russell. Moving to our commodity markets, crude oil, so taking a look at crude oil. In crude, we have a potential breakout line here above this 41.63 high. So look for some basing right in here for a potential breakout. We did look at a couple of reversal levels down here for demand. Price just really didn't give us a good, strong entry point last night to lean on. Looking at a 15-minute chart, we could see some levels down in here at about 40, 40, 30, somewhere in there. Keep that in mind for a reversal today. But overall, I feel like there's a better chance of price continuing to head up. Last night, we looked at a bull call spread in crude oil futures or crude oil options, and I think the options for a bull call spread make sense in this scenario. Next, gold. So in gold, we did have a potential breakdown level here, but we needed to see basing inside of this gray box, and we did not get the prerequisite basing necessary inside that gray box. Price just popped below. Now, we know that when that happens, that is not a breakout candidate, right? It loses its breakout status because we didn't get the prerequisite basing in order to make that thing make sense. I do believe that there's a better chance price continues to come down. We came back up to this supply and are getting a little bit of a reversal. But in the meantime, there's really not a whole lot to do on this trade. We looked last night at at an iron condor, which I want to say was 1810 by 1750. We looked at last night. So it was 1810 by 1750. 1820 by 1750. So it was a fairly wide area if you guys want to look at an iron condor in gold. In our currency, bonds and currency markets, so starting here with the ZN on our 10-year note, we did come down into our demand level that we'd looked at last night, have gotten a little bit of a rally off of there. If you took this trade at this point, because you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, we're on our 5th candle. We're about to get our 6th candle print here soon. I would take your stop and move it to break even. I think that we are in a sideways market, maybe even take a little money off the table because you're looking at this supply as your eventual target. I'm not going to try this one again since we've already gotten a little move off of it. So hopefully if you were trading that one, you caught that one last night. In our Aussie level, we had looked at this area down here for a potential reversal if price came back down into that range, and we were looking at it when price was still up here. It rallied up pretty much all night and now has reversed and started to come back down. So that 15-minute level is still very much at play right in here. And that was essentially from yesterday's market open. It's a small little level with very, very small amount of risk in that trade. Next, the euro. So our euro position, once again, that's another one that we just kept running straight up on. We came close to our supply area with an inability to get filled yet again. And so I think this is actually going to set itself up better for a breakout trade. But for now, it's still very much in a sideways price action. So not a whole lot to look at except for maybe a breakout trade out of this level. Canadian dollar, very similar picture. Canadian dollar, we did hit our supply level in the overnight. Prices have started to move away. We're sitting right now at about a 1-to-1, maybe even a 1.5-to-1 reward to risk ratio on this piece. So at this point, let's make your target. Should be right about here. This I think is your target 1 on this level. If you took that trade for an entry, and the reason for that I'm looking is at this basing right in here. So keep an eye on this area for a target. I would say that once you get to a 2-to-1 reward to risk, which is going to be right about actually close to where we are right now, you're going to want to take your stop and move it to break even. So this trade is working out pretty well on the Canadian dollar. A Great British Pound. We had talked about a potential breakdown below here last night, but it just rallied up pretty much the whole night and the overnight. There's really nothing to look at this point in the pound that's overly close. None of the supply levels above me are very clean, and we've frankly possibly put in a nice little trend reversal here, and we'll know better if it's a trend reversal if we get a new swing high. And then the Japanese yen, we are still in between our levels. We put this line in here last night, but we didn't get the basing necessary on it. We said that you could, if you don't get basing on this, you could look for a reversal at this region right up in here. There was a lot of trading in there, so it's not as strong of a level. So I'm just actually going to leave this alone. There's not a whole lot to look at in the yen today. So those are our days for today. Remember, on Wednesday, 7 a.m. Central, we will be doing our live daily market commentary. If you have any questions, as always, send us an email, support@tradersarmy.com. Until tomorrow, everybody, I'll talk to you soon. See ya.